Namaste students. This is a new chapter, chapter 7 on integrals. First lesson on that. The weightage on this chapter including the next chapter, chapter 8 will be 12 to 14 marks. So let me add with this on each section including chapter 8. Okay, so of course it cannot be only on this chapter. It always the questions are mixed. Some are with indefinite integral and some are with definite integrals. So the total weightage will be 12 to 14 marks. In each section there will be a question. Section A, there can be 2 multiple choice questions. Section B, there can be a 2 marker question. Section C, there can be a 4 marker question. Section D, there can be a 6 marker question also. Usually it used to be a question on limit of a sum, okay, but this concept is deleted from your portion, fortunately or unfortunately, because whenever I taught, students never like this limit of a sum. Lot of calculation is required there, so this section is deleted from your portion. So anyway, let us see how will be your question paper. Now our objectives are to understand integration as inverse of differentiation. It is exactly an inverse function of differentiation. Then formula of indefinite integration. Then geometrical interpretation of indefinite integral. What is it? What does it represent geometrically? Then properties of indefinite integral. They are not very important, very easy properties they are. So then methods of integration, different methods we are going to study. Substitution method, using trigonometric substitution also. So we will see how to do substitution, algebraic substitution and trigonometric substitution. Then integrals of some particular functions. Integration of some particular function will be there. You are going to see what are those particular functions, special types of functions. Then integration by partial fraction. Also you are going to see what is this partial fraction. Then integration by parts. Okay, so this also we will study in this chapter. Definite integral as limit of a sum. Of course this is deleted from your portion, but I am going to teach you the concept of this limit of a sum, because maybe it will be asked in your JEE exams, okay, or other competitive exams, entrance exams, okay. So for those exams I am going to show you the concept and maybe one example based on it. Then fundamental theorems of integral calculus, we are going to see what are they and some questions based on it. Then definite integral by substitution and properties of definite integral. Properties of definite integral are very important. Sometimes directly the property is asked, or some question definitely will be asked on the property of definite integral. Okay, let us go to the next page. This is your revised syllabus on integration, from where this 2 types of integrals are deleted, where square root of quadratic expression dx is there, and integral of with that quadratic expression in the square root there is some linear expression outside the square root. So both the types of questions are deleted from your syllabus, and as I said, definite integral as limit of a sum is deleted, and because of this these examples are deleted. 23, 24, 25, 26 solved examples in your textbook are deleted. Then from exercise 7.7, from question number 3 to 8 are all deleted, and 11 is also deleted. Then exercise 7.7 supplementary exercise. It is in the supplement to the textbook, main textbook. Example number, question number 12, 13, 14 are deleted. Then exercise 7.8, all of it deleted, which is based on limit of a sum. So whole exercise is deleted. Then from miscellaneous, question number 40 is deleted. Okay. So let us start. Integration as reverse of differentiation. To differentiate, what we do, we multiply by power and reduce 1 from power. So look here, if you have to differentiate it d by dx of x to the power n, what you do? Bring power to the left, means you multiply by the power, and then from the power, I forgot here, so of course it should be minus 1 from the power. So n into x raised to n minus 1. Okay. Yeah, I forgot that minus 1. Okay. So yeah. Then to integrate, we will exactly do the reverse process of this. Okay. We will exactly do the reverse process of it, means what we did here, multiplied by the power and minus 1 from the power. Okay, reduce 1 from the power. Now to integrate, we will do exactly reverse of it, that is add 1 to the power and divide by power. Look here, we will go in the reverse order and do the reverse operation. So here it was minus 1, in integration we will do plus 1. Here it was multiplied, we will divide now. So like that we are going to do. So integral, this is the symbol for integration, like this. Integral x raised to n dx will be what? First we have to add 1 into the power. For power function, first add in the power. So n plus 1, and the resultant power will be in the denominator. So divide by the resultant power. Okay, so always remember this rule. So for example, if you have x to the power 3 dx, what you are going to do? Add 1 to the power. So it is x cube, so x to the power 4, and divide by that. This will be the integration. Of course, we are going to add plus c in it. Why we are going to add? We will see it in the next part of this question, of this chapter. So is it clear to you? I hope this is clear to you. When we differentiate, we multiply by the power first. Whatever was the given power, we multiply by that power and minus 1 from the power. But while integrating, first we add 1 to the power and divide by the resultant power. Okay. So this is the sequence of it. Now rules of constant. What constant I have added, that rule I am going to explain it to you now. Look here, when we differentiate, constants become 0, isn't it? Whatever is the constant, that will become 0. So for example, d by dx of x square plus c will become 2x. Differentiation of x square will be 2x and differentiation of c will be 0. So therefore that constant has vanished. Now when we integrate, actually we integrate the already differentiated function. So while integrating this, we don't know whether in the reverse process there was some c or not, whether it is required or not. So because of this thing, what we do, we integrate, as I told you, according to the above rule, means we add 1 to the power. So power was 1, we add 1, it becomes 2, and divide by the resultant power. Okay. So 2 as it is, this 2 as it is, then x becomes x square by 2 and plus c we are going to add. Now of course 2 and 2 gets cancelled. So ultimately the integration of 2x dx will be x square plus c. Okay. So in this section, whenever you need indefinite integral, always remember it is indefinite integral. And because of this c only, the name is given to it, because of this c. We are not sure whether that c was some positive number, some negative number, or was not there, means was 0. So it is not definite, it is indefinite. We are not sure about our answer, and because of that it is called indefinite integral. In the definite integral, the other part where only definite integral will be there will be some limit values here and here, okay? But in this section you don't have any limit value, and this is called indefinite integral. So I hope you will remember it. I'll explain again. Look here, whenever we integrate, so we integrate according to the rule what I have shown you just now here with this rule, and finally we add one constant of integration, maybe c, maybe k. Some books write c and some books write k, capital C, capital K, or small c, no problem. So you have to always add one constant of integration. This is called constant of integration. So where c is called constant of integration. Okay, so the c is called constant of integration. Okay, so therefore in general d by dx of capital F of x plus c was, the differentiation of this is small f of x, where x belongs to some interval. X is from some interval, of course. It is connected to some real function. It is a real function, so there will be some interval, okay, on which f of x is defined. So capital F of x plus c is differentiated and we get a small f of x, okay. Now therefore when we integrate a small f of x, means when we do the reverse process of this, so we put here integration, then the answer will be exactly the reverse of it, which will be f of x plus c. So this c always is required in it, okay. So again I'll give you some example. For example, integral of x to the power 5 plus 2 x to the power 5 dx will be x to the power 6 upon 6 plus c. Why? Because we add 1 to the power and divide by the resultant power, okay. Integral x to the power 10 dx will be x to the power 11 upon 11 plus c. Integral root x dx, now root x means x to the power half dx will be equal to x to the power half plus 1 upon half plus 1 plus c, which will be x to the power 3 by 2 upon 3 by 2 plus c. Now one more thing I want to explain here. This symbol integral and this dx tells us we are integrating with respect to x, okay. This dx tells us that our variable of integration is x. So I'll write about it here. Dx tells us the variable of integration. Because there can be dt, there can be dy. So with respect to that we have to integrate, with respect to that we have to find its integration. So here please remember that this dx is the variable with respect to which we are going to integrate, okay. Okay, then next page. Now some standard integrals. So in these integrals, this is from your book, of course. So differentiation is compared with the integration because exactly they are reverse of each other. So differentiation of this is x to the power n. Why? Because n plus 1 will come to the left and minus 1 from the power. So n plus 1 will get cancelled and n will remain in the power. So therefore exactly reverse of it will be the integration. So integration of x to the power n will be this part. Therefore it is written like that. Integral x to the power n dx is equal to x to the power n plus 1 upon n plus 1 plus c. Remember that c is constant of integration. Again I will write here where c is constant of integration. Constant of integration. And of course in the next section you will see that the question says find that constant of integration. Okay, so everywhere we are adding c here, c. Okay, then now in particular we know that d by dx of x is 1. Therefore integral of 1 is x plus c. Here 1 is not written. So if nothing is there in the integration, it means it is 1. Okay. So integral 1 dx will be x plus c. And in the same manner, integration of any constant. Integration of any constant 3 dx will be 3x plus c. Okay. So whatever is the constant, we will multiply it by x, or 1 becomes x. Remember like that. Why it is like that? Because 1 means x to the power 0. Okay, integral x to the power 0. And we add 1. The rule says add 1 to the power. Look here. The rule says add 1 to the power. So it will be x to the power 0 plus 1 upon 0 plus 1. So which becomes x, and we add c. So like this is the explanation for this one. Okay. So whenever you get only a constant in the integral, so its integration is that constant times x plus c. Okay. But you should be sure that it is a constant. Sometimes it can be another type of variable, t or theta or y. So be careful about it. It will be mentioned also in the question. Okay. If it is some other variable, and you have to consider that also. So if it is not mentioned, means definitely it is a constant. Okay. Now we know that derivative of sin x is cos x, therefore integration of cos x is sin x plus c. Similarly, we know that derivative of cos x is minus sin x. That minus sign is kept here so that you understand the integration. But if there was no minus sign here, it should have been here, isn't it? You know that d by dx of cos x is minus sin x. So therefore integration of sin x will be minus cos x. So please remember this. Sometimes students do mistake in the sign of it, whether it is minus in the derivative or minus in the integral. Please remember it. Now I will give you one hint. Sin is an odd function, therefore while integrating there is one minus sign with it. Okay. So sin becomes cos and cos becomes sin. But while integrating sin, because it is an odd function, so minus sign with it. Now derivative of tan x is sec square x, therefore integral of sec square x is tan x plus c. Remember that it is not only sec x, it is sec square. Okay, that sec x is an special function which I wrote in the objectives, integrals of special functions. So these are those special functions. Okay, sec x, tan x, and cosec x, cot x. These are the 4 special functions whose integrals we are going to find by some procedure. Okay, by some substitution. So these 4 are special functions. We are going to study it later on. Similarly, derivative of cot x is minus cosec square x, but that minus sign is kept here instead of keeping it on the right side, so that while integrating that minus sign remains as it is. So therefore integration of cosec square x is minus cot x plus c. Remember that there is a square with cosec, there is a square with sec. Okay, both of them are with squares, but integration of sec square is positive tan x and integration of cosec square is negative cot x. Similarly, integration I should say. So integration of sec square x is tan x, integration of cosec square is minus cot x. Then derivative of sec x is sec x tan x. So therefore its reverse will be the integration of sec x tan x is equal to sec x plus c. Remember that both of them should be together. Integral sec x tan x. So integration is sec x. Similarly, integration of differentiation of cosec x, you know that it is equal to minus cosec x cot x. That minus sign is kept here instead of on the right. Okay, so that you understand the integration. So while integrating this part, the right part, the integration will give you the left part of it. So therefore integral cosec x cot x is minus cosec x. Remember that here is the product of cosec x cot x and here is the product of sec x tan x. Together will give you sec x, and this together the integration of cosec x cot x will give you minus cosec x. Then these integrals I am going to explain you later on, but anyway you can look at this. So integral of dx upon under root of 1 minus x square is sine inverse x. Integral dx upon under root of 1 minus x square is minus cosec square x. And integral of dx upon 1 plus x square is tan inverse. Dx of upon 1 plus x square is also minus cot square. So can be positive tan square or can be negative cot square, the same thing. Similarly here also can be positive sine inverse or can be negative cos inverse, the same integral of the same expression. Similarly these two are also the same, but their integration is positive sec square x or negative cosec square x. Then integration of e raised to x is e raised to x. It remains the same. But if there is some coefficient here, I am going to show you later on what to do with that. Then integration of 1 upon x is log of mod x plus c. We put mod because it should be positive. Logarithm of negative expressions cannot be determined, therefore we put it in the modulus. We know that derivative of log of mod x is 1 upon x, therefore integral of 1 upon x is log of mod x plus c. Similarly, integration of a raised to x, some exponential function. A raised to x is something like 2 raised to x dx. Okay, so this is a raised to x, integration of a raised to x dx is a raised to x upon log a plus c. What is that log a? The log of the base. So if it is integral of 2 raised to x dx, the answer will be 2 raised to x upon log of 2. Okay, so in the denominator we write log of the base. Okay, so I hope you will remember it. Now next part is geometrical interpretation of indefinite integral. What geometrically it represents, the indefinite integral. Now look here, when function is f of x is equal to 2x, and when we integrate we write x square plus c. So what is this c doing here? So that c is explained here. So look here, that c, as I told you, can be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on, or maybe negative 1, negative 2, negative 3 and so on. So look here, we know that the graph of f of x is equal to x square is a parabola opening up at the origin. Okay, so therefore when c is 0, this is the graph. When c is 1, then this will be plus 1. So its vertex will be at 0 and 1. If c is 2, the vertex is at 0 and 2. If c is 3, the vertex is at 0 and 3. Similarly, if c is negative, minus 1, then the vertex is at 0 and minus 1. If c is negative 2, then the vertex of the parabola is 0 and minus 2. If c is 3, then the vertex of the parabola is 0 and minus 3. But all the parabolas are similar shapes, exactly same, only their vertex is changing. Okay, only the vertex is changing. So this is the geometrical interpretation of indefinite integral. Now, properties of indefinite integral. These are simple properties, not very complicated. We are going to study special properties of definite integral. So here it is indefinite integral. Now, we know that differentiation and integration are reverse process of each other. Therefore, if you see an expression with d by dx and integral dx, look here, this d by dx means differentiation with respect to x, differentiation with respect to x, and this integral and dx means integration with respect to x. So they are exactly reverse process of each other. So both will cancel each other and only we will get f of x. So that d by dx can be f dash of x also. So therefore integral f dash of x dx is f of x plus c. We add c, constant of integration, which is an arbitrary constant, any constant. Okay, two indefinite integrals with the same derivative leads to the same family of curves, and so they are equivalent. If you have two indefinite integrals with the same derivative, if their derivative is same, then they lead to the same family of curves, of course. Okay, so d by dx of integral f of x dx, if it is equal to d by dx of integral g of x dx, then both are going to represent the same family of curve, what we have seen here, like this curves. Okay, then third property says integral f of x plus g of x dx is equal to integral f of x dx plus integral g of x dx. It means plus or minus can be separated here. Okay, if plus or minus is together in the integration, then we can separate the integral with each one of them. So similarly, if you have some constant multiple with a variable function in the integral, then that constant can come out of the integral sign. Okay, so constant will come out of the integral sign and we will integrate f of x dx only. So for example, I'll write here, for example, integral 3x square dx. What you can do? Bring 3 out and integral x square dx. So which in turn will be x square will become x cube upon 3, because we add 1 to the power and divide by that resultant power. And of course finally we have to add one constant of integration. So this and 3 and this 3 will cancel each other. So x cube plus c. Now you may say here, why I am not writing c inside it, isn't it? Anyway, you can write the c inside it. Then in that case, your answer will be something like this. Okay. And when you open the bracket, it will be x cube plus 3c. Now because c is an arbitrary constant, so it can be again plus c dash. Okay. So it makes no difference whether you write it inside or whether you write it outside. Okay. So I'll erase this part from here. No need of that. Okay. So 2c, 4c, 10c can be c dash, some other constant, because it is already a constant. So in general, k1 f1x in the integral, if you have so many expressions together, so k1 f1x plus k2 f2x plus so on kn fnx dx, then it can be with separate integrals. So k1 will come out, integral f1x dx, k2 will come out, integral f2x dx, so on, kn will come out, integral fnx dx. Okay. Okay then. Now we'll start the exercise. I hope you understood the concept of integration. It is not very new for you, only that symbol is new for you, but you are going to do exactly the reverse process. So here I am going to show you what we are going to do. Okay, so they are asking you, look here, it is also called as antiderivative or also called as primitive function. Okay, so primitive means originally what it was, because when we integrate, actually we integrate already differentiated function. So what originally it was, we can get it after integration only. That is why it is also called as primitive or antiderivative. Okay, so I'll start with integration directly. Sine 2x dx. So sine, as I told you, how to remember the negative sign. Sine is an odd function, so its integration will be negative. Cos of 2x. Now look here, the angle has coefficient 2. We will divide by that. Remember that in differentiation we used to multiply by the coefficient of the angle, but here we are going to divide by that. As I told you, exactly reverse we are going to do. Second question, integral cos 3x dx. Okay, so cos is a even function, therefore its integration is positive. So sine 3x, sine becomes cos and cos becomes sine. Now remember it, only there is minus sign when we integrate sine. So divided by 3 because coefficient of x, and plus c. The third question, integral e raised to 2x dx. I'll write it in front of it. I hope you will understand now. E raised to remains e raised to, as it remains same in the derivative also, but only the coefficient of x will go in the denominator here, plus c. Fourth question, integral ax plus b square dx. So we will treat, if it is linear, please remember it, that the inside part of the power function should be linear, must be linear. And if it is not linear, then you have to open the bracket. Okay, so I'll write that also here. If not linear, then expand the power. So by using square formula, by using cubic formula, you have to expand it. Directly you cannot integrate if it is not linear. Please remember this rule. Okay, so here it is linear, so I am going to keep this as a power function to the power 3, because we add 1 to the power. I will divide by the resultant power. Okay, then there is coefficient of x, so that will also come in the denominator, a plus c. Okay, then fifth question, integral sine 2x. Always try to write if it is a bigger expression than inside the bracket, minus 4 e raised to 3x and dx outside the bracket. Why I am telling you like that? So that you understand the whole thing is to be integrated with respect to x. That is the meaning of it. Okay, now we can separate them as we have discussed the properties of indefinite integral. So I will write integral sine 2x dx separate, minus this 4 is a constant, so I will write it outside, integral e raised to 3x dx. Okay, then sine is an odd function, therefore its integration is minus cos 2x, same angle, but we will divide by the coefficient of x. Then minus 4 as it is, integration of e raised to will remain the same, but divide by the coefficient of x here 3 plus c. This is the final answer. You can keep it like this. Okay. Now next question, question number 6. Integral for, look here, they are using the bracket here, isn't it? So please remember that you have to use the brackets. This is equal to, I'll separate first 4 e raised to 3x dx plus integral 1 dx. Now 4 as it is, integration of e raised to 3x is e raised to 3x divided by the coefficient of x 3, then plus integration of 1 will be x plus c. As the derivative of x is 1, derivative of x is 1, therefore integration of 1 is x. So this is the first one, 6th, then 7th, integral x square into bracket 1 minus 1 upon x square dx. Now look here, if there are variables and they are multiplied here, okay, variables are multiplied here, we cannot keep them like this. In derivatives, you used to take them as u and v, and then you will write u into dv by dx plus v into du by dx. So if they are variables of the same type of function, means algebraic function, you cannot keep them like this. Why I am using this word same type of function? Because you are going to study also the product rule in integration, but those products will be of different types. Means if one function is algebraic, the other can be sine. If one is trigonometric like sine 3x, the other can be e raised to x dx, of course. If one of them is logarithmic function log x and the next is e raised to x dx, so both of them will be different types of function. For them there is a rule, so we are going to study it later on. But here remember that these are both same type of function, therefore we have to open the bracket. So after expansion, after multiplying it inside, I get x square minus x square into 1 upon x square is 1 dx, and its integration will be x. Now look here, you can either separate or you can directly integrate also, no problem, because already we wrote the property that they can be separated. If both of them are together in one integral, they can be separated like this, or it means you can directly integrate also. So anyway, so its integration will be, integration of x square will be x cube upon 3 minus integration of 1 will be x, and we add constant of integration. This was 7th. Now 8th question, integral ax square plus bx plus c dx. So as I told you, you can either separate or you can keep the same. Anyway, I am going to separate in the beginning. So a into x square dx plus b into integral x dx plus c into integral dx. So integral dx means what? 1. So it will be a into integration of x square will be x cube upon 3. We add 1 to the power. Integration of x will be x square upon 2. And integration of 1 will be x plus c. This is the final answer. Okay. Next question. Question number 9. Integral 2x square plus e raised to x and dx outside. So I will separate them. Integral 2x square dx plus integral e raised to x dx. And now integrating them, 2 as it is, integration of x square is x cube upon 3 plus e raised to x is e raised to x because there is no coefficient of x plus c. So this is the final answer. Question number 10. Integral root x minus 1 upon root x bracket square dx. Now look here. Just now I have told you here that if it is linear, look here, if it is linear, then you can directly integrate. But if it is the inside of a power function or inside of a square is not linear, you have to open the bracket. So in this question it is not linear, the inside part, so we have to expand it. Okay, so we will use the bracket square formula inside the integral. So root x square will be x plus x plus 1 upon root x square will be 1 upon x, and then minus 2 times root x into 1 upon root x dx. So I have done the expansion. Now it is x plus x to the power minus 1 minus 2, because this root x and root x will go. Now integration of this will be the integration of x will be x square upon 2. Integration of look here, I have directly given you the formula for this, 1 upon x, no need to bring it up. Integration of 1 upon x is log of mod x, and minus integration of 2 is 2x and plus c. This is 10. I'll repeat again for you. First we will expand it, the bracket square. Why? Because the inside of it is not linear. Okay, so by the formula of a minus b bracket square, root x square is x plus 1 upon root x square is 1 upon x minus 2 times root x into 1 upon root x. Root x gets cancelled, so it is only 2. Now integration of x is x square upon 2. Integration of 1 upon x is log of mod x, and integration of minus 2 is minus 2x plus c. Now question number 11. Integration of x cube plus 5x square minus 4 upon x square dx. Now again here what we are going to do, first we will separate the denominator with each one of them. Again there is no formula like u upon v you used to have in derivatives. Okay, here definitely no formula for u upon v. Okay, so I'll separate the denominator. So x cube upon x square is x plus 5 x square upon x square is 5 minus 4 upon x square will be x to the power minus 2 dx. If there is other than one power in the denominator, bring it up. But if it is only one single power, keep it in the denominator like this. Its integration will be log of denominator. Okay, so its integration now is easy. X becomes x square upon 2 plus 5 single constant function becomes constant into x minus 4 x to the power minus 2 plus 1 will become minus 1 upon minus 1 plus c. So the final answer is x square upon 2 plus 5x minus and minus plus 4 upon x plus c. Now look here, I have done the integration of this directly. Look here, I'll write it in the bracket here. Integration of x to the power minus 2 dx will be x to the power minus 2 plus 1, because always we add 1 to the power, upon minus 2 plus 1, which in turn becomes x to the power minus 1 upon minus 1. That is what I wrote directly here. Okay, sorry, here I used it directly. Okay, next question, question number 12. Integral x cube upon root x, I am going to separate them directly. 3x upon root x plus 4 upon root x and dx with all of them. Now simplify the powers. So x to the power 3 minus half will be 6 minus 1, 5 by 2. So x to the power 5 by 2. Look here, x to the power 3 minus half. So this 3 minus half will be 6 minus 1 upon 2, so 5 by 2. Okay, like that I am writing. Okay, then plus 3 x to the power 1 and minus half will be half, so x to the power half, plus 4 x to the power half in the denominator, when you bring in the numerator, will be minus half, so x to the power minus half. Just now I told you, if there is other than 1 power plus 1 power in the denominator, other than plus 1 power in the denominator, you have to bring it up. Okay, now we can integrate them directly. So x to the power 5 by 2 will be 5 by 2 plus 1 upon the resultant power 5 by 2 plus 1, plus 3 as it is, x to the power half plus 1 divided by the resultant power half plus 1, plus 4 x to the power minus half plus 1 upon the resultant power minus half plus 1 plus c, constant of integration. So final answer, x to the power 7 by 2 upon 7 by 2. So it will be 2 by 7, because fraction of the denominator will be like this. Then plus x to the power half plus 1, 3 by 2. In the denominator 3 by 2, which will be 2 by 3. 3 will get cancelled. So 2x to the power 3 by 2. Then here 1 minus half will be half, and half will go up and it will multiply with 4. So 4 to the 8. X to the power half means root x plus c. I hope you understood it. If not, I have to explain you further. So question number 13 now. Here also what I have to do, here, because in the denominator there is x minus 1, so actually I have to use long division method. Okay, x cube minus x square plus x minus 1. I'll need one extra page here, so let me add one extra page here. Okay, so now I have extra page. So long division I am going to use here for question number 13. By x minus 1 I have to divide. So you know how to use long division method. I'll write here x square, because x square into x will give me x cube, minus x square into minus 1 will give me minus x square. When I divide, the sign will change, this will cancel, this will cancel. I am left with x minus 1. So now only plus 1 will be there. So x minus 1, and it will be 0. So it is completely divided. So therefore question number 13 will remain only x square plus 1 dx. I hope you understood. Now integration of x square is x cube upon 3. Integration of 1 is x plus c, constant of integration. Question number 14 I am going to do here. Integration, let me write 1 minus x into square root of x dx. Okay, I am going slowly here because this is new chapter for you. In the last session of AOD, I have realized I was going very fast. Actually I wanted to finish the chapter. So anyway, in the live session we are going to repeat some questions again. Okay, past paper questions we will do, don't worry about it. So just study those questions which are already solved, and we will do some past paper questions. Not some, but many past paper questions, because that section is very important, miscellaneous exercise and the last exercise. Okay, now here what we have to do, open the bracket. So multiply 1 with root x, multiply x with root x. So it will be root x minus x root x, all of it dx. Then simplify it as a power, write it as power, minus x to the power 1 and x to the power half will be x to the power 3 by 2, 1 and half. Now we can integrate. So integration of x to the power half will be half plus 1 divided by half plus 1. Always add 1 in the power if it is a power function. X to the power 3 by 2 plus 1 upon 3 by 2 plus 1 plus c, of course. So it will be x to the power half and 1 3 by 2. In the denominator 3 by 2 will be 2 by 3 minus x to the power 3 by 2 plus 1 5 by 2, and 5 by 2 in the denominator will become 2 by 5, okay, plus c. So this is the final answer. We'll go to next question. Again here you have to open the bracket with root x. So it will be, I'll write directly 3 integral x to the power 2 and half, okay, 5 by 2, yes, x to the power 5 by 2 dx. I am separating them 2 as it is, integral x to the power half plus 1 3 by 2 dx. I am just opening the bracket, I am not integrating now, okay. So first one was half plus 2. Half plus 2 means 1 plus 4 by 2, so 5 by 2. Second will be half plus 1, half plus 1 will be 3 by 2, and the last one will be power half. So plus 3 integral x to the power half dx. So I have separated everything. Now I can integrate. So 3 as it is, integration of x to the power 5 by 2 will be 5 by 2 plus 1. Of course you can directly write 7 by 2. Okay, now it is the beginning, so I am writing plus 1 so that you will remember you have to add 1 to the power. 3 by 2 plus 1 upon 3 by 2 plus 1. Okay, plus 3 into x to the power half plus 1 upon half plus 1 plus c, of course. So 3 x to the power 7 by 2 upon 7 by 2. I'll simplify later on. 2 into x to the power 5 by 2 upon 5 by 2 plus 3 into x to the power 3 by 2 upon 3 by 2 plus c. Now after simplifying, 2 will go up and multiply with 3. So 6 x to the power 7 by 2 upon 7 plus 2 to the 4 x to the power 5 by 2 upon 5 plus 3 will cancel, 2 will go up, so 2 x to the power 3 by 2 plus c. This is the final answer. Next question, number 16. This is straightforward, so we'll just separate and integrate. So 2 as it is, integration x dx, minus 3 as it is, integration cos x dx, plus integral e raised to x dx. So 2 as it is, integration of x is x square upon 2, minus 3 as it is, integration of cos is sin x. Remember that I told you cosine is even function, so it remains positive. There is no denominator because coefficient of x is 1, so no need to write it, okay. So integration of cos x is sin x, plus integration of e raised to x is e raised to x plus c. Here only 2 and 2 will cancel, so x square minus 3 sin x plus e raised to x plus c. Next question, 17. I will just separate and integrate them. So 2 out, x square dx, minus 3 out, integral sin x dx, plus 5 out, sorry, dx I forgot here. Okay. plus 5 out, integral x raised to half dx. So it will be 2x to the power 3 upon 3, because we add 1 to the power, minus 3 integration of sine x, sine is odd function, so minus cos x, plus 5 integration of x to the power half, half plus 1, 3 by 2 upon 3 by 2, plus c, constant of integration. So finally your answer is 2x cube upon 3 minus and minus plus 3 cos x plus 2 will go up, 2 5s are 10, x to the power 3 by 2 upon 3 plus c. This is the final answer. Okay. 18th. So now here also we have to open the bracket. So it becomes integral sec square x dx plus integral sec x tan x dx. Okay, integration of sec square x, I told you, is tan x, direct formula, and integration of sec x tan x is sec x, plus c we add, so finish. This is the answer. Now to integrate this, first we write them as sine and cos. Sec square, you know that 1 upon cos square. Sec is 1 upon cos, so sec square is 1 upon cos square. And cosec is 1 upon sine, so it will be 1 upon sine square x dx. Now when you simplify, fraction of the denominator will be upside down, so sine square goes up, cos square comes down, dx. Now sine upon cos is tan, so integral tan square x dx. Okay. Now tan square we cannot integrate, so we'll convert it to sec square minus 1. Tan square is sec square x minus 1 dx. Now we can integrate. Integration of sec square is tan x. Integration of 1 is x, and plus c, constant of integration. Next question, number 20. We will separate them again here. So 2 upon cos square x dx minus 3 into integral sine square x upon cos square x dx. Remember that variables cannot come out, only the constants can come out. So here 2 also I will bring out. Cos square, when take it in the numerator, it will be sec square x minus 3. Now here what I will do, I will write one power of cos separate and another power of cos with sine. Why I am doing like that, I will tell you now. So 2 integral sec square x minus 3 integral cos, when you take up, is sec x, sine upon cos is tan x, and now this is by the formula, so sec square becomes tan x by integration. Sec x tan x, integration of sec x tan x is sec x plus c. This is the final answer. Question number 21, it is MCQ. The last two questions are MCQ. The antiderivative of this means integration of this. So what you should do, just integrate and check what is your answer. So integration of root x plus 1 upon root x. We have already solved this question anyway. We will solve again. Integration of x raised to half plus integration of x raised to minus half when you bring it up dx. So integration of x raised to half is x raised to 3 by 2 upon 3 by 2. I told you directly you can add 1 to the power, half plus 1 is 3 by 2. Integration of x to the power minus half will be minus half plus 1 means plus half by plus half plus c, the constant of integration. When you simplify, it becomes 2 by 3 x to the power 3 by 2 plus 2 x to the power half plus c. Now look at the answers. So which is the answer here? 2 by 3 x to the power 3 by 2 is here, 2 x to the power half is here, so therefore the answer is C. So therefore implies answer is C. Okay, next question I have already solved here. Here also it is given that d by dx of f of x is this. So we have to check what is f of x. So to find f of x, what we do, because we know that d by dx and f of x, when you integrate, okay, when you integrate becomes f of x. I'll write here, since integral of d by dx of f of x dx is f of x. Because integration and differentiation are reverse process of each other, so I integrated it here, so therefore d by dx and integral has gone, so f of x, and here integral will be there because both sides I am taking integration. So on this side there is integration. Now integration of x cube will be x to the power 4 upon 4. Integration of x to the power minus 4 will be minus 3 upon minus 3, because we add 1 to the power, so it is minus 3. Now it is given that f of 2 is 0, so we replace x by 2 everywhere in this expression. So f of 2 is equal to 2 to the power 4 plus 1 upon 2 cube plus c is equal to 0. After simplifying, it is like this, which gives us c is equal to minus 129 upon 8. And finally the function becomes x to the power 4 plus 1 upon x cube minus 129 upon 8, which is which answer? So definitely it is answer A, isn't it? X to the power 4 is here, here and here. X to the power 1 by 3 and x to the power 1 by 3 minus 1 to 9 upon 8 minus 1 to 9 upon 8. So implies answer is A. With this we end this lesson. Okay, so bye for now. Now tomorrow I am going to discuss but anyway, tomorrow will not be the lesson. This is for Wednesday. Tomorrow is Tuesday, so no problem. Okay then, bye for now. Okay, thank you. End of lesson 1.